We're infinite beings in a biosuit, which means our problem solving capacity is infinite. The depth of our creativity is infinite. Our capacity to create and give birth and manifest things in this reality is infinite. Okay. So we are being faced with these pieces that are making us dig deep inside of ourselves, dig deep. There's no other way to deal with this, because the playing field, once you get involved in that 4D playing field, highly charged and weaponized, as it is, that is a field set up for your failure, that for the individual. Okay. But as soon as you get past that polarized field, past the collective field, and start looking at your capacities as a being on a soul's journey, that you know what I mean, and the whole idea of the different constructs within the akasha, then you get into who you are as a being of sound, of light, as consciousness. Then you start, I'm all right, I'm going up in frequency, and it feels like I'm talking about going up, but really what that means is going in. So we need to keep digging deep and checking in within ourselves, and then calculating, measuring what the appropriate response is. And for me, I'm really, really aware of the importance of staying in one's rhythms, behind one's eyes, so one can go deep with the response. Because if I'm triggered and I'm out here, which happens to all of us, it's not about not getting triggered. It's about catching yourself once you have been triggered and pulling yourself back. That's really what the game is. Okay. Then choosing your response from there. It's self-respect it's out of self-respect that we do that. Okay. It's no other measure other than self-respect as an infinite being in a biosuit. By you and me refusing to let ourselves become that puppet, that, you know what I mean, that manipulatable being, by, I'm going to just, it is kind of like children, this is us stepping into our spiritual maturity. This is where we actually practice what it is we believe. We actually live the walk that we talk. Okay. Integrity, integrity, integrity. So all these things are happening on this scale to force us to go inside and act with integrity, take actions according to our inner integrity. This is how we reclaim our reality over and over and over again. It really helps to have a community around you. I've said this many times. That is absolutely so supportive. That's part of why I do these talks, so you guys know you're not alone. There's other people that think about this in a similar way, that have similar ideas, that want similar things, I know live we have, sometimes our numbers fluctuate. Sometimes we're in the teens, sometimes we're in, single digits, but the replays, people do listen to and are supported by. And this is important for us to keep seeking that support. I'm doing the best of my ability to speak the truth in the ways that I see it. Maybe I have ideas that are closed-minded or narrow-viewed. I do have a very strong stubborn streak. This is true. So there could be ideas that I have that aren't so accurate, but I do my best to be as accurate as I can. And I really, really feel like it's important for us to be unedited when we express things, because the truth is an energy, right? So when truth is being spoken, we can feel it. We feel it sometimes we get waves in our skin. We feel it in our bones, in our body. And when we are, constantly in this state of editing, that disrupts that truth frequency. It disrupts the energy of the truth, and then becomes partially true or mostly true or true in certain angles, and that affects our energy field. That affects our capacity of expression. That affects what we're even willing to acknowledge inside of ourselves when we have to live in a very edited kind of way. Okay, wait a minute. I need to drive that idea home, guys. when we are living in a very edited kind of way, that impacts our personal biofield, that affects our personal energy. Okay. So the more we can set the stage in our lives to express the truth in the way that we feel it, in the way that we see it, the stronger our, and that's going to feed our energy field, the stronger our field will get. Now, there's other nuances to that. We need to stay behind our eyes. We need to stay in our rhythms. And that's, a practice that takes a lifetime to master. But at the same time, it's totally worth it. There are many times where I have recognized in real time, not after the fact, that I have recognized in real time that I was getting, getting energetically baited, so to speak, into a confrontational situation. And I recognized it in real time because I was I took a moment to take a breath and be in my rhythms and check myself about being behind my eyes. And when I did that, it was so clear. It was so clear. And I was like, okay, I see the game that's in front of me and I'm going to pass on that. Okay. And I felt completely comfortable passing on that. And I had the resources, the inner resources available to speak with integrity to that. Okay. So when we are super triggered and our energy is all over the place, our attention, our energy is going into these triggers and we can't think clearly. That's why we don't notice until after the fact when something happens, right? So something happens and the whole conversation seemed to take on a life of its own, and maybe it didn't have the result that you wanted. And it's not until after the fact, when you're driving home or the next day, you're thinking, oh, I should have said this. Oh, I should have said that. Okay. That's what that looks like. Okay. That's what it looks like to get out from behind your rhythms and be in these other outer energies, right? It's because we're focusing on this very uncomfortable feeling that we're having, rather than just letting ourselves rest inside of our bodies and be calm the best that we can be, right? And like I said, it's not that we stay there and we're unmovable, which would be the goal, but really what it is you take that moment to catch that you're not there, that you're out here, and then you bring yourself back. You take that moment. Now, the more you practice the inner rhythms, tuning into your inner rhythms and the inner smile and being behind your eyes, the quicker you get at catching it, the quicker you get at recovery. Okay. So that is where it's at. It's noticing that it happened and then choosing to take that moment and then move forward, right?